Yes, welcome to the DJ Force X podcast. Today's guest is a sonic architect, I will say, um, shaping the kind of edges of like heavy music, a lot of bass music, but combined with rock and metal, from cinematic sounds and industrial drum and bass, um, and it's a sound that is both brutal and beautiful in my ears because I love that crossover. But this is Mechanical Vein. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate all the big ups and kind words. Glad you're so into it, and yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for having me
no,
on.
it's all good. Like the crossover sound for me, that especially like drum and bass and metal, is huge for me. I used to host a radio show back in the day. Used to cross these sounds over on Total Rock. I did that for like 10 years, and I've been DJing for decades. But I sort of specialize in metal and drum and bass. So it kind of
Mhm.
marries really well for me, especially that and with the whole industrial edge to it as well. And you've worked with people I know as well, like Zardonic and things like that. A former guest on this show many years ago. Um, I should get him back
Yeah,
on at
it's
some point.
absolute legend of a man.
He is totally a legend. And yeah, no, you guys, you've been going for a little while, on that front, and there's a bunch of stuff I want to chat to you about. Obviously, we are going to play a show together in December as well, which is one of the main reasons we're here today. But I'd like to sort of talk about your music as well, obviously. But what I want to do is get a little bit of the origin story on Mechanical Vein. Like, where did this persona come from?
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, those crossover sounds are always amazing and inspiring. I've got my deep roots with the industrial scene, playing in industrial metal bands for years and conventional metal bands as well. Um, But yeah, I've always just loved bass music as well. I think, around the time like Glitch Mob released their second album, I was getting heavier into like a lot of the, like edgier EDM and
Yeah,
bass music sounds. It's kind of an obvious fusion of all those things. Um, it was actually kind of funny though, because I grew up in the US, where especially like small town USA, there's not as much of an industrial scene or drum and bass scene or etc. And I remember I was doing my first DJ set ever in San Francisco
yeah,
and playing with a much more experienced friend that was DJing and mentioned a few tracks I was playing, like, because I was just kind of getting into some random drum and bass tunes without caring about genre and like
yeah.
put in some like state of mind and tantrum desire. And she's like, "Oh, are you playing a drum and bass set?" I was like, I don't know, it's my first DJ gig. I'm just playing tunes I like. Um, but that was like, a little seed is a lot of the, coming from industrial, getting into a lot of the more like catchier melodic neuro and such, which is a good foot into getting into drum and bass in general. Um, and that just kind of snowballed after moving to the UK and just working a bit more closely with some artists like, like Sinister Souls was a big like formative artist to really hook me on like just how heavy and danceable,
Yeah.
drum and bass can be. Um, and he did some remix work for like a mechanical vein collab track. And just hearing, like some like dancey neurofunk artists take on things we were doing is like, this is exactly the kind of stuff that I want to be making, and just kind of snowballed from there. But to be honest, I'm actually surprised there aren't as many artists as there are that are doing the metal drum and bass hybrid. Because yeah, everyone loves Pendulum.
Yeah.
Absolutely goes off. They're massive. You've got your like Sardonic and a few other like people like Sol Dweller, classic from the industrial scene. Um, and a lot of these are like really beloved artists. But even though it's such an awesome fusion and people are really into it, it doesn't seem like there are that many people kind of bridging that gap
Yeah.
between those worlds.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love it and happy to help make that happen.
Excellent. No, I mean that's cool. I mean, you're right. I mean, I found a lot of artists, but not a lot of people know about these artists that are fusing these two sounds together. Obviously, like yourselves, you've already mentioned Cell Dweller. We've mentioned Zardonic. Those are the two sort of huge in that area. Again, Cell Dweller, former guest on this show as well, twice in fact. But it's like guys like Blue Starly as well, and Toronto's Broken. Mainly, these circle round fixed. They all
Yeah.
fixed at the moment because they seem to find them as well, and like in some cases do sort of pick them out and will put stuff out for them or via them. Um, but you're right, that's sort of like it's always played well. So the bands that have done it, like mixing that drum and bass with the sort of punk or metal, have always done it
Mhm.
well. There's been bands throughout the years. There's the earliest ones like come out of industrial, which was Pitch Shifter, because they were a very heavy industrial band, and then they kind of like went a bit more main room with their sort of
Mhm.
like samples and stuff like that they went with, and that obviously that did catapult them into a different area. And you're right with Pendulum as well. They sort of came out of the drum and bass scene. Um, and knowing like they're sort of like the El Hornet sort of background in metal and stuff like that, I mean he loves his metal, and you can definitely see
Mhm.
where that comes from in their sound. But yeah, and like it is difficult to find events that cater for it as well. That's my main thing. It's like you could get DJ sort of like shows into a regular DnB or dance night, and
Yeah.
you can be dropping remixes, mashups of known metal rock tunes and stuff like that into that, which is kind of what I do. Um, but I mainly DJ rock clubs, so I don't really go into the drum and bass events and be part of that. I used to back in the day, back in the sort of early sort of like dub jungle drum and bass crossover time. So a lot of like the sort of breakbeat era, early sort of jungle drum and bass side of things. But then I sort of went into metal. I was in a band and stuff like yourself. Went into a band, and started doing all that kind of things, and it kind of went by the wayside. But yeah, you're right. There's you think there would be
Mhm.
more. You really think there would be more.
Yeah.
But they're I mean, but I mean the ones that do it, like yourselves, like Zardonic stuff, they do it really well. And like Toronto's Broken sort of breaking through now as well with the sort of new metal drum and bass crossover stuff that he's doing with
Yeah.
Reach and Sabotage and stuff. He's just done a tour with that and stuff as well, which was really cool.
Yeah, Toronto's Broken's been, one of my favorite artists in recent years, especially in that crossover. They've just been smashing it. And we did that little small tour together earlier this year,
Yeah,
just a handful of UK dates. And
it's
because, yeah, it's like an obvious, obvious team up for that because obviously, yeah, we're both in love with the same niche. And yeah, they absolutely kill it. And they're, yeah, absolutely top tier of that fusion as well.
yeah, no, he's a great guy. And I've had Reeves on the show as well with her solo stuff, and she's a great like vocalist for that style as well,
Yeah.
which is great. And but this, I mean, this brings me on to the event that we're playing. We are playing an event in December. Everyone, it is sold out first and foremost, but you can get on the wait list. I was really pushing it to sell out, and it did. I was so happy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, on December the 5th, we're playing in Reading at the Face Bar. We are supporting Venjent as a whole on there. Vengeance is a very good artist as well. People have, if anyone hasn't seen what that guy can do, go on his socials and watch some of the videos that he has and how he creates his music. Um, it's absolutely fantastic. It's off the wall, which is great, but it's also kind of like just genius,
Yeah.
absolute genius.
And it's really nice because a lot of people that just might be familiar with him in passing know him as that really like funny drum and bass Instagram guy,
Yeah.
right? But it's like it's not just you know, like cheap meme
No, it's not.
music. It's like
It isn't.
there's a lot of production's great
Yeah,
and the using lots of found sounds isn't just a gimmick. Like he makes absolutely fire tunes with it.
yeah.
And there's a lot of like you can tell there's a lot of like heart in the themes of all of his tracks.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Definitely. And you're right. It's like from the outset, from a musician's point of view, you can hear all that. And go like, that kind of like sampling thing where you hear something and I need to get my phone, sample it or whatever,
Hmm.
he just has that instinct. But like you said, the track he's putting underneath it is just full of layers as well. It's not just like getting
Yeah.
like a squeaky door and putting a break beat on it or anything like that, which is for a sort of like a layman's side of things, they might see it as that. But like if you break it down and actually see how his, well, I don't know, if you see how his mind works, that would be a crazy thing. I'd
Yeah.
love to have that in my head. Just be able to make music out of everything. But yeah, no, he's going to be doing a DJ set, which is going to be crazy because I know he's just come off a couple of live shows where he's been playing. I think a couple of the guys from the Schism and Beat Cancer went to go see him in London, I believe it was a couple of weeks ago. And that looked like a fun show as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
we got Venjent doing they're calling it a close up DJ set because he is growing in stature now. I saw some of his tour pictures from over in the States and Europe and stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
um,
Looked like an absolutely mad scene, didn't it?
yeah, absolute crazy. And like you're saying with this with the States as well, I'm like, you're right. Like, I'm a former resident of the USA, and the scene over there, it was mainly like the sort of club scene was just top 40 music everywhere. So it's very difficult for a person like me to kind of like come in. But we're about to get our next guest on the show. I'm gonna let him in now. Um and should do without breaking the flow. There he is.
Ah, he's here.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Cool, cool. Thank you for joining us. I know you've been in another meeting type thing, and yeah, Keith here did warn
Yeah.
that you were coming.
Hopefully this one's a bit more fun than the other one.
We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, just for the sake of intros, um, yeah, Matt plays guitar and live vocals for Mechanical Vein. And he's the main man behind Biomechanical. I play bass for Bio and do a lot of post-production, mixing, mastering stuff. So we're kind of like a constant team up between
Mm.
our two projects.
Nice. Well, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I mean, what I was going to do, I was going to do the same question I asked you, Keith, at the start there. Um, but what I was going to try and do is get a bit of the origin story of Biomechanical, and yourself, like how you got into this sort of like what we call music. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, just the origin story, really. If you've got, yeah,
Yeah, so like I'm lucky enough to have been a musician since a very young age, and this kind of thing is very much a privilege, right? Like my mother was a musician. She used to play cello when she was at Cambridge. So from a very young age, it was like, okay, you are going to be a musician. Um, so I started off like I did a lot of theatre when I was a kid. I played in brass bands and orchestras. So I used to play in the Hampshire County Youth Orchestra. Um, but as with all teenagers, after a point, you're like, but what if I got into a rock band, into a metal band? So I picked up a guitar, and here we are some 20 years later. So um, Biomechanical as a project started as an outlet for me to be able to go to clubs when I was under 18 with very little effort in Southampton. So I was DJing under the name Biomechanical, and no one was going to check the DJ's ID or anything like that. And so that's where all of this began, really. And then I did a few tracks, and they were awful, but I got some feedback, and you iterate and you iterate and you iterate. Yeah, and then 10 years later, we played in the States, toured Germany. Like, it's been a really, really fun ride.
nice, excellent. And are you still based down that way in Southampton, or are you up in London now? Or are you...
So I wanted to get out of Southampton as quickly as possible. So pretty much as soon as I had my A levels, I got a place in Queen Mary in Mile End through clearing, moved to London, and that was it. Never came back. So been here 13 years now. Absolutely love it. London is an amazing place to be.
Nice, nice. That's awesome. I know Southampton reasonably well. I'm
I'm
kind
so sorry for you.
of, yeah, not
Is
yeah.
there is the dungeon still around, or is that gone now?
Do you know what? I don't know.
I know they refurbed it, and a lot of my mates were annoyed about it, but I never because I think we only ever went back once to play with the birthday massacre. Like my mum has sold the house now; she lives in Belgium, so
Okay.
no real reason to go back down that way unless we're doing a show.
Yeah. No, that's right. No, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not based that way. I've
Yeah,
played a lot of like gigs down that way. I played places like the Joiners. Um,
yeah.
I think I played the dungeon.
Joiners, talking heads, all of that.
Was the dungeon the pub with? Was that a pub with the room below, the club room below?
Yes, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I DJ'd there after. I did an after party for, not to name drop, Soil and Puddle of Mud. Uh,
Yeah. Love it.
yeah, that was fun. But yeah, no, I know Southampton reasonably well. Like I said, I played a couple of the venues down that way
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I see how you want to get out of there. That's not, no disrespect to my Southampton listeners, watchers, or anything. They probably understand. They probably understand. Um, but yeah, obviously, how did you two sort of like become musical collaborators as well? How did this like mechanical vein and biomechanical?
It's
But
such a funny
yeah.
one, right? Because people assume that they were branches of the same tree, and this couldn't be further from the truth at all. I don't know if you want to go into it,
It's
Keith.
some of it's fuzzy because like my memory is
I I
not the
I
best.
remember how we were
But
introduced.
yeah, so there's this booking agent back in the US,
Was it
um,
Nikki?
Nikki,
Yeah.
who I might have been before I was moving to the UK. But anyway, she mentioned to me, "Oh, there's this UK band Biomechanical. You guys are doing some similar things. I think you guys would click." And she kind of like put us on each other's radar that way. Um, it must have been before I knew I was moving to the UK,
I
actually.
think it was. Yeah.
Because
I
yeah,
remember when you moved
when I
to
lived in
London.
California, I didn't know that the UK move was happening. So, um, yeah, at the time, like we were both doing a lot of modern bass music inspired stuff. It's purely coincidental that our names are so so
Yeah,
I
similar
don't
and
think it was
related.
that modern at the time, right? Like it
Well,
wasn't as so. We hadn't really worked out where it is that we wanted to go with these things at the time. Like
yeah,
bio was a lot more electronic then, and there were like bits of bass music, like you had the dubstep stuff and the psytrance stuff, but it wasn't as defined as it is now.
yeah.
And I think for both of us, the metal stuff hadn't come into fruition yet at the time when we first met.
Yeah, like neither of our projects' sound was particularly like modernized, or I'd say
No.
very close to what it is now. Um, it's a lot, like when Skrillex and Bro Step all popped up and everyone started putting wobbles poorly into into their music. It's like you're kind of doing some of that and like finding a way through it. Uh, but there was enough like similarities to things we were doing that, yeah, we kind of linked up, didn't chat very much, Facebook friends. And after I moved to the UK, I saw Matt posting needing a synth player for the band for an aesthetic perfection
Yeah.
support slot.
AP.
nice.
Um, and I don't think there's a lot of lead time before the show.
No,
But
there wasn't at all.
at this point, I had, been doing mechanical vein shows, and I built this custom instrument, call it the Electroaxe. It's really just like it's a guitar-like thing. It's all lit up, and it has these sample pad buttons and the guitar body.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, basically do it because there's so much sound design that goes into the type of music we make. So you can't just play that on any keyboard you can buy from Guitar Center or whatever. So you have to, if you want to play back stuff live that you've done a lot of sound design on, the only real reasonable way is to chop it into samples and um, trigger those live with a controller or something. So we kind of like did a quick blitz of like, well, I've got this sample instrument, and then we kind of re-edited some of the bio songs to chop out sections and um, it was never really meant to be a long-term plan, but we did bio shows together for quite a while with,
Mm.
using the mechanical vein instrument live. And yeah, that's kind of how we started working together, is
Okay.
just hopping in a live capacity and obviously started making some tunes together. And then once, Mechanical Vein shows kind of took their current shape, we needed some genty 8-string guitar live. So, um, yeah,
Nice.
we worked out beautifully to kind of
I
support
can
each
sort of
other's
play
bands.
guitar, as we mentioned earlier.
It's a lot of zeros, a
Sort
lot of
of.
zeros
There's
and
a
ones.
lot of zeros. It's all in E. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
All the gently.
Yeah.
But no, that's really cool. I mean, I was going to ask you about that instrument
Mhm.
because I did look at your live video. Everyone can go see it actually, a full live performance on YouTube. Um, is that like the MIDI fighter pad type thing you've got on there?
Hey, he said his homework.
Yeah, yeah, it
Oh, I
is.
know what that is. I've
It's
got one.
always funny.
I've
It's
got one
funny to see
around here.
what people like actually spot what it's based on.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's essentially a guitar mounted MIDI controller. Like uh people often ask if I actually had like another artist message me just a few weeks ago saying like I Googled this instrument and I can't find anything. Like, did you make it yourself? Um So it's kind of yes, kind of no in terms of making it myself. I gutted the bass guitar,
yeah,
put the MIDI controller in there, put in the light up strings and everything, and yeah, kind of like. But the thing in the center is an off-the-shelf USB MIDI controller that just connects to a laptop because I'm not an electrical genius.
oh,
Um,
but putting those
so
together, like it looks nice. I'll tell you that because I'm a bassist as well. So it really did come out because I see light up bass strings. I'm like, ooh. And then I see the MIDI fire thing, and I'm like, oh, because I've got one round here, and I've also got like a launch pad and all that kind of stuff
yeah,
around here. I had a complete sort of studio move around, so all my stuff's kind of everywhere. But yeah, it's a nice little thing because I noticed things like that, and who was it? I think it was Muse had like the Chaos pad built into theirs and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I love those sort of modifications that can like change that instrument completely to something unique in that
yeah.
respect. And obviously, with yours, you're sort of cutting up samples and stuff like that. I mean, you could sit there with a launch pad, like I've seen like various. I'm trying to remember artist names, but I've seen artist
There's
names.
there's
Yeah.
a guy called Madion,
That's it. That is
young
it.
young French guy who has
Yeah,
like three around, and he specifically has it on the
hmm
front. So not only can he not see what he's doing, but it's so everyone else can see it.
yeah.
Well, that
Um,
was
Madion's fucking genius.
He
the
is.
whole reason I
Yeah,
built the instrument to begin with was largely inspired by the Glitch Mob, who does a very similar, well, I should say they used to do a very similar thing. Now, like the latest era of the Glitch Mob seems like a much more stripped down, minimal,
mm,
like back to the raver roots kind of thing. But for a while, they had the three guys with these touch screens facing the audience.
yeah,
There's this whole like sci-fi Blade
The
Runner
big
looking
fucking
setup.
taiko drums,
Yeah, they had
like
like drum pads all
yeah,
around them, and they had like these touch screens tilted toward the audience were actually iPads, and they'd light up when they trigger all the sounds.
yeah,
I'm like, this is sick because so much electronic music is a guy behind a desk who kind of trust that he's doing something. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
yeah.
he could be checking his
Um,
Facebook or
yeah, I've definitely seen a few like DJ reels and such of like guys with the footy match on in the middle of their set or something. But yeah, it's just really awesome to get that visual feedback, to show
Yeah.
what's happening.
Yeah.
So it's, like why I built the instrument is directly inspired by, you know, what artists like the Glitch Mob are doing to kind of show what's happening, make it more engaging.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, like I say, it caught my eye. On many levels because it was like, oh, like MIDI, and then light up bass strings where I'm like, cool, I want light up bass strings for my bass now. Um, that actually might. I'll get the
you
neon.
get real nice UV reactive ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Really cool.
But yeah, obviously, we were talking, like obviously before you joined us, we were talking about the show we've got coming up, in December, where you're going to be doing a DJ set. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because with a
How does?
lot of, events like drum and bass events,
Yeah,
it's some of them are set up in ways that are accommodating for live shows, some are not. There was one show I was doing at one point where they just had like a tiny little DJ booth and they talked to us about doing a live show. It's like maybe we can make it work, put a guitarist on on the dance floor or something, but it's good to be nimble when you're doing this hybrid stuff to kind of like do a DJ set where it makes sense, do
Yeah,
a live show set where it makes sense, depending on the event and
Mm.
logistics and all that.
yeah,
But this
We
one's,
have
yeah.
done enough back-to-back DJ sets as well in the past. We've done closing set of resistance stands for a little while now in Sheffield, which is
Yeah.
always a good sign when the security was like, no, 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 keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good guys at Corp.
yeah. Normally, I just get told to stop. Uh,
Mhm.
but we'll see because I am DJing this event with you guys on the 5th of December at the Face Bar in Reading. If you've ever been there before, um,
Yeah, I've played there a couple of times now.
yeah. So no, it's just outside the town centre.
Yeah.
So adequate parking, everybody. There are hotels nearby. But the tickets are sold out. So if you haven't already got a ticket, I'm sorry. There is a waiting list. If you go to beatcancer.info, there is a waiting list. So I have to get these bits out of the way. But yeah, we're gonna obviously you guys, we've got Venjent, we've got Carcasaurus as well. They're playing on that Friday, same Friday night, along with myself and my other DJ Schism resident DJs. I got DJ Source E or Jez. I got the Sound Shark, which is Jason. I got DJ Brad, which is actually Brad. So um, we're all playing that in the other room, and then there is a second day to it as well because it's a weekend event. We've got the Saturday as well, which is Randolph and Mortimer, Simon Carter and Fabsy, Colt, Dan Narcosis at the Face Bar as well. But it is for charity as well, which is obviously the cancer charity, which is nice.
Beat cancer.
Yep.
Mhm.
But Bio has worked with Beat Cancer for quite a long time. They're
Yes.
very good friends of ours.
Good.
It's a very good cause.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, what is your relationship with them? Because I've not organized this. I am just playing. And I
Yeah.
have played an event for Beat Cancer before. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
both our projects have done a few events with them in the past.
mm,
So
yeah.
we know those guys quite well.
Cool.
yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
They continue to put on lots of good shows and try and raise money for a good cause. Really.
Yeah. A cause that we're all affected by at some point, which is the sad thing. But anything we could do to kind of help develop anything that can help anyone is why
Have
we
a good
do
time when we're doing it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's like I say in Reading, in Berkshire, everyone who is going, obviously, we will see you there. But it is a nice intimate venue. It's multiple rooms as well. So there'll be sort of I'm guessing there'll be a chill out area if anyone needs it. But what can we expect from a Vengeant DJ set? Because obviously I've watched your live performance, specifically the
Mhm.
one at the garage, which was cool. I played the garage before. I love that venue. But yeah, what can we expect like from that, from like a DJ set?
Yeah, so it's actually funny when you do the whole live band thing and you also do DJ sets, there are kind of like a couple different varieties of DJ sets. It's always you have to kind of like suss out. Sometimes if you're playing just a club night DJ set, it makes sense to do traditional set, mix of artists.
Yeah,
Um, when it's like a build mechanical vein show, makes sense for it to be very originals focused.
yeah,
Um, I always try to do live vocals whenever I can to bring the live vibes to the
cool.
DJ set.
Yeah,
Um, People always seem into it as well. Even every time I go to shows, like I saw Sinister Souls and Equals, a few weeks ago in London. Um, Equals does a lot of like live vocals as well with his sets, and anytime you can bring that energy to a DJ set, it just kind of elevates the hype quite a bit.
It's
So
just
you can
the sort
expect,
of human
yeah.
connection, right?
yes,
Yeah, exactly. It's makes things much more relatable. For me personally, I've always been biased toward vocal tracks myself. Someday I'll write an instrumental, but
Today is
um,
not that day.
today is not that day. So anyway, yeah, you can expect live vocals. And we'll have some new treats as well because it's the past year or so has been slow in terms of releases because we've been so busy with shows and I've had crazy, freelance visual effects work keeping me busy all summer long. VFX is my main day job. Worked on Alien Earth recently, which is a personal
wow,
highlight. Um, but that's been keeping me busy. But yeah, finally down and getting some new music done. So be teasing a bunch of new stuff, some new collabs, live vocals, etc. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be a big party
Oh,
at the Face Bar.
that's awesome. That's awesome. That actually does lead me on to my next question. Actually, it was like, what are the plans? And we're going to talk about both groups here, but like musically, what are your release plans? Because the last sort of release I saw of yours, a Mechanical Vein, I should say, was back in the end of January. It was the Split EP, um, with is it Neuroklast?
Yeah, that one. So I love those tracks, and yeah, that you're right. It's all a little bit fuzzy timeline wise, but yeah, those were the last official MV releases.
Yeah.
Those Neuroklast did the productions. For me, it's only vocals on those tracks, Dethrone and Hellfire. Um, and yeah, love to do it. Love working with those guys. Um, but yeah, because it's been a minute since we've released some proper originals. So we've had a number of collabs with a bunch of artists that not going to mention yet, but we've had things
Big
kind
things,
of
TM.
big things coming. No, it's great to finally come back to those some of those collabs that we said we definitely want to do and actually make it happen now that there's time in the schedule. Um, so
Cool.
new stuff soon.
Nice. And for biomechanical as well, is there stuff,
Yeah,
guys?
yeah. So Bio's been in a weird space because we keep saying we're going to release because we had a pretty during and after COVID we had a pretty sort of release structure of a single every 3 to 6 months, usually in the 3 or 4 month category,
Okay.
and we were getting stuff out really, really, really quickly for us. Then a couple of years ago we were like, okay, it'll be nice to get all of this onto a physical pressing, call it an EP, and be done with it. And then we got booked for Bloodstock. So
Hey.
we were like, right, okay. So let's like write some new tracks that are gonna be like super Bloodstock friendly. We had like really settled into what we are now, which is this more like electronic metal kind of thing. So we were like, let's write some stuff around this, and take it to, because we had a lot of interesting bookings last year. Like, we just toured Finland, and we had Germany, America, all of this, and we had Bloodstock. So we were like, okay, let's get some stuff ready for that. And so that is written, and I think one of them got played at Bloodstock. I know one of them got played at Bloodstock because we also filmed a video for it at the end of last year. And this is the problem with creep, right? With scale creep. What starts as a small thing, because this could have been 2 EPs and it probably should have been, but now it is one album because people have been asking for a new Bio album, and it has been in a constant state of almost done for the better part of 2 years now.
Okay.
So there's a video, there's 3 unreleased songs, one of which has a video which is incredibly good. We have actually done a private premiere for that video and that song, which our good friend Alexander Miguel did at the Clapham Picture House. That was really, really fun private event, really, really good. And now he's like, okay, so what's the plan? What's the plan? So the current plan with Bio is I need to book off some time in November, because the problem is, Keith is saying crazy workshop. Like, let's be honest, this year has been sort of shit, right? 3 of the 4 band members lost their job at the beginning of the year.
Two
One of them,
presents.
yeah, 2 present. One of them has just had a kid, so he's been AFK. It's just been sort of punch after punch after punch of just trying to sort of keep things going. And when you're trying to worry about, are you going to be able to stay in your home, or in Keith's case, he didn't even do that. He moved out of London, right? The drummer Kako, he's had to move as well. Like, this kind of stuff isn't conducive to finishing an album. If none of this had happened, it probably would have been done by now. But as it stands, I'm gonna take some time off in November, finish everything, and I would like to have it done by the end of November, beginning of December, something like that, which would be really, really nice. But yeah, so there's like 3 unreleased songs. There's a really good Dimmu Borgir cover that I cannot wait to show everyone. It's like Igor covering Dimmu Borgir kind of thing, to give you an idea. Like, it's really fun. Um, so and then we made some contacts at Bloodstock it's I think it was Dan at Six Set Media was going to help us with that release as well. So um, it sort of depends on, once it's done, mastered, and I have the master in my hands, we'll then decide where we go from there. Yeah,
Yeah. And,
that's
at the beginning of this chat, we talked about mutual love for hybrid genre stuff. And, as much as we love hybrid genre things, it can make things much slower to produce, to figure out, you know, even just, most people don't think about it, but mixing and mastering techniques for, a metal album versus like a bass music or a drum and bass album, it's completely different stylistically. And, when you're writing tunes that weave between these genres so fluidly, like both Bio and MB do, like it takes a while to write it, takes a while to produce it, to certain, we
yeah,
both have, men have
absolute
very high
bastard to
standards.
mix.
Yeah. And we have, like, we hold ourselves to super high standards, so we're not just going to um, you know, compromise too much on that as well. So it's time consuming to do this fusion stuff. In things like the
when
music
you try to
video.
do it all like DIY, because this was the point of the hybrid black stuff, right? It's we're trying to do all of this to professional label standards at a DIY budget, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it's either like fast, it will cost money, or it'll take a lot of time, and you can only pick one of those.
Yeah.
Uh, so unfortunately, these things do take a lot of time unless we're willing to spend a lot of money, or which we don't have.
Yes.
But it was when we did the last video, and Jamie Blacker from ESA sort of turned around and, oh, this is like nuclear blast levels, and I'm like, that's a really nice compliment to give from another musician, because that was what we were trying to do, like proper label quality stuff within the constraints of what we have.
Yeah. No, I've been there. I've been in that position many years ago, and it seems from the outset a lot of people are like, oh, it's a lot easier now. You can get shit done on your laptop, or you can, but it still takes time. It takes
Yeah.
longer, because you haven't got that brain next to you doing stuff. It's you. Everything is you. So
Yeah.
everything, writing, all that kind of stuff, and then you get that kind of like, I fucking hate this. Right. I don't know about you. I get this. If I listen to my own stuff over and over again too much, I just fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Um,
But this is the benefit of having me and Keith, right? Because we will bounce stuff off each other.
Yeah, that's
And
good. Yeah.
we have a little group chat of the boys in black, which is Bio, MV, Morris Black, and Chris from Arrays and Echo Grid. And we are we when we started that chat, was like, if something is shit, say it is shit, because you need that honest feedback
yeah.
from the boys. So that's how you get better, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. It works on feedback. I mean, my work culture, who I work for, they have a feedback culture, I should say, well, of whatever, constructive, positive, anything like that. And it's the only way you can kind of grow as well. To take that feedback, as long as it's not just something that that's blunt and you can do nothing with it. There's got to be, like, a bit of constructive.
Yeah.
Yeah, because to be
Otherwise,
honest, like, you can work at this stuff for years and years on your own, and you only hit a certain level of quality. And like, I have been doing, like industrial adjacent music for ages and absolutely plateaued. And it wasn't until, like I signed up for this service where I was getting feedback from artists like Protostar and Electric and Odd Profit, and like lots of artists who pretty well known and successful in bass music and drum and bass communities. And when those guys came and started ripping apart my tunes on a granular level and breaking my heart, is like, if I hadn't done that, then it, would have been stuck in a lot of like old habits and,
Mm.
not really gotten things up to professional standards there are today. The feedback circle that's
What's
not afraid to destroy you, essentially.
you've got to be able to kill your darlings. I think that's the phrase, right? You've got to be
Yeah.
able to unlearn these habits and these things that you love.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely, absolutely. But I was going to say actually, for Brian Mechanical, the track you did a Christmas song.
Yes, yes.
Um, and I heard it. I think I heard it back a little while, and I heard it again. I think a couple of weeks ago when I was sort of prepping for this. But yeah, no, good job. I love any band that take like those songs and turn them into something metal or something industrial in those respects, because we've always got, like, you know, the classics out there we can play, especially from a DJ's point of view. You know, I can always get away with playing the originals of various Christmas songs, but when a band does a Christmas cover, I'm like over it like a fucking rash. So
Well, I mean, I think the band has been around for about a decade now as well, in one format or another.
yeah,
So I think legally we are legally obliged to have to do a Christmas song after that 10 years has elapsed. I think that's just how it works.
no, that's exactly how it works.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my old band, we did a cover of Last Christmas, so
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
we've all been in that position. We
yeah.
look forward to the Mechanical Vein one. Uh,
Yeah, I'll just start warming up now to do my best Mariah Carey by this winter season.
Yeah.
don't tease us with that, please do.
Uh, the world doesn't want that, I promise.
Oh, it really does.
I'll
I've heard Keith sing with that auto tune. Keep it in the box.
Okay.
not wrong.
Cool. Well, I've got a couple of questions left, guys. I'll let you get on with the rest of the what's turning into the evening now, or afternoon. Um, but what I want to find out from both of you, these are kind of like my standard sort of ending questions, but I like to ask any musician that I have on here what they are. But what I want to find out, your three most pivotal records in your life. Now, I'm not talking top three of all time, so I don't want to hear, like, you know, top three. I want to hear ones that you heard when you were younger, like you were saying earlier, Matt, that you know, your household was musical in that respect, and what made you turn to rock? You know, that sort of
Mhm.
record. What did you hear and you're like, oh, I want to do that music? Or, you know, anything that made you want to be a musician, made you want to go into a certain thing, or just a song that changed your life for whatever reason. I know it's kind of a loaded question, but who
Mhm.
wants to start?
No, no. If, Keith, you want to go first because I'm trying to whittle this number, this
Yeah,
this down to a decent.
Oh, okay. All right.
exactly. I think I can answer pretty quickly. If you'll if you'll allow me four, maybe. Well, I'll keep it to the three. All right, three. So we've got one I'm borderline ashamed is not the right word, but one of the first industrial album I bought. I grew up a small town outside Buffalo, New York, and not a lot of industrial scene to speak of. Um, it- and I saw VMV Nation live, and opening for them was Imperative Reaction. Imperative Reaction always did some really sick, uh, kind of like more rocky edge synth pop stuff. So me coming from the metal scene,
Yeah.
finding Imperative was great, it was a pivotal album because it really like helped to get me into industrial stuff so heavily, but it's don't feel good about it since it's one of those like uh guys gone very right wing and
Yes.
not great ways as far as I understand. So um maybe that's my loophole to get four in. So I'll
Maybe
strike that.
it was.
Um the other one I'd say Hatebreed's Perseverance.
Yeah.
Um It's one of my, Hatebreed's my most formative band probably. Just that sort of like empowering hardcore, um, is very like as cheesy as it sounds, like defined who I was, as a person in my early 20s and onward. Um, and yeah, just kind of similarly to that, like I have a hard time writing very woe is me type music. Like it doesn't feel right for me to like write from that standpoint. So obviously there's a lot of like negative topics and themes explored in darker music, but it's usually from a more powerful standpoint. Might attribute it partly to, yeah, a lot of formative Hatebreed influences. The other one is Sage Francis, A Healthy Distrust.
Okay.
I was never, wasn't that into hip hop back in the day, and one of my coworkers started playing this, and it's very like emotive, clever, just I don't know, like there's so much clever wordplay, just emotional realness, etc. to Sage Francis and etc. It just really got me hooked on that kind of yeah,
Nice.
emotive bars like that. So it's kind of if you listen to Mechanical Vein, you can kind of see like the mix of, industrial stuff with a lot of hip hop, emotive delivery, um, kind of all coming together in that way. Um, and yeah, I guess those are my three. There's one other I was going to mention, but forgot what it is.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, maybe like Glitch Mob's Love, Death, or Immortality was
Oh, what an album!
just
So good.
yeah, when they went from they used to do a little bit more like kind of atmospheric like glitch hop stuff, and this was more like anthemic, beautiful bangers. And it
Mm.
really helped to kind of bridge, my interests from industrial metal into more EDM stuff.
Yeah.
And I mentioned, how they influenced, like the instrument I made, etc. And I apologize for not including any drum and bass albums in my in my three, but that's you got it.
I was, yeah, I mean, like I said, I was talking for like those pivotal ones, so it may not have been that DnB artist that traded it. It would have been like, like say Glitch Mob or anything along those lines. But it's good. It's a good mix of stuff though. Obviously, Hatebreed, love Hatebreed. I was very much into my heart.
Yeah. Hatebreed, Sage Francis, and Glitch Mob is kind of like, aside from the drum and bass angle, that's like a lot of the formative DNA of
Yeah.
stuff
Mm.
I do and love.
Nice, fantastic, cool. Wow, Matt, it's your turn. Have you managed to
Sure.
whittle down your list?
I have. I have. I think we will go for the first one is that Dire Straits by Dire Straits, specifically because of Sultans of Swing. This is an iconic song for a reason. This is the first rock song that I really remember. I know Keith was already a man by the time this came out in 1979. Sorry,
I
you
was
Captain
not
Strays
alive,
there.
just for the record.
um, yeah, but like it's those first like riffs and licks and those sort of the cyclical nature of how their music works.
Yeah.
Is that first like, oh shit, rock can be like this. And in fact, I'd always been like that, but I hadn't been exposed to that much of it at the time. And it's the kind of thing my mum really used to like and would have on in the background. But like, it was the first song that I really remember. Like, oh shit, this is cool. Um, then the I think the album that was a turning point for me. I think when I first started getting into metal, I think someone had tried to buy me a Motorhead album
Okay.
and accidentally bought me a Machine Head album as The Blackening had just come out. So I skipped eras and eras of rock. I never really got into like the Chili's and Linkin Park and all of this. I skipped all that and went straight into Blackening era Machine Head.
Okay.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and that is like that first song on the album, when it like has the big like atmospheric intro and then it goes into that like super detuned 7 string.
Yeah.
What an introduction to modern metal. That is like it's got the Gustav Dorr style prints on the cover. Like this is just it did a lot of like legwork for me getting into metal in general. It helps that Rob Flynn seems to be not an awful guy as well, so I don't have to take that one off my list. Yeah, absolutely love
Yeah.
Machine Head. I still love everything they do. Yeah,
Yeah, it's sick.
amazing album. It just ticks a lot of boxes. It's got a lot of different licks on it. It's a great album.
Is that the album with
Um,
Beautiful Morning on it?
say again?
Is that the album with Beautiful Morning on it?
Yes, it is. Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That is, yeah, I was just trying to remember which, because Machine Head got loads of albums. I go back way back with Machine Head to like 10 Ton Hammer, Burn My Eyes, that sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I remember Beautiful Morning. That is a heck of a track.
Yeah, it's the second track on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the Halo as well, Farewell to Arm, like
Yes, that
amazing.
was a proper like. I think that was a real kind of like comeback album for them.
Yeah,
Out of their new metal era, which not a lot of people liked.
yeah.
I thought were actually all right, to be honest with you. Um, but only to age myself. Very much into my new metal. I still am. I am apparently the godfather of UK new metal. So,
No, well, there you go.
but anyway,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. But what is your third record? What would be your?
So my third one is an album called For Lack of a Better Name by Deadmau5. I think this for me was the turning point where EDM stopped being an unserious genre, especially in the US, and became the sort of the powerhouse that it is now because of this one album. There is not a song on that album that isn't a banger in various like meanings of the word. It had like ghosts and stuff, which had Rob Swire, who's like the Pendulum guy. It has Strobe, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. So this was for me, it almost got me into like the synths and modular and stuff. Like, fuck, you can do this with that. And I'm sure if I was born 20 years before, someone would say the same for Daft Punk or whatever. But Deadmau5 was my Daft Punk.
Yeah.
In terms of getting into like electronic music on a very serious basis. This is like immaculately made music, intelligently. Like I remember there was a period where it was being called IDM, Intelligence Dance Music, which is the shittiest name for anything I've ever heard.
Was Deadmau5 considered part of that thing?
At one point, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I knew
But
of it,
yeah,
and it's a terrible genre name, but I
but
didn't
you
know
know,
if he was
it's
like kind of considered part of that
yeah, he was at
thing.
one point. Although I'm sure Chris would argue with that about it. But yeah, but for me, that was a turning point, and I think historically that album is a turning point for when, especially American electronic music, but maybe electronic music as a whole was starting to be taken more seriously on a global level. And you have, you know, so much other stuff that spawns out of that. Because I'm not a massive fan of the guy that Deadmau5 is now or the music that he makes now, but that one album was just so pivotal to the genre and to the genres that came after it and the artists that came after it. Amazing, amazing album.
Yeah, no, definitely that is a really good album when it comes to electronic music. But you're right. It kind of coincided with that moment of it started to get taken a bit more seriously. With a
Because
lot
you had Skrillex's Scary Monsters came, I believe, like a year after, right? Like it wasn't long after.
It wasn't
That
long,
was
but it came
'09. Yeah.
it came out of that, and obviously we had the sort of I mean the dubstep sort of thing that did take over the states for a long time.
Yeah.
And it was the first time dance music has really, apart from the sort of like party areas of the states, had really kind of taken hold. Because obviously it was mainly European centric. Any dance music had to go through Ibiza, basically.
Yeah.
So to be taken in any way seriously, because the DJs had to go through it, rinse it, and make sure that it was, still worthy after the fact, or it could live on further. But then that kind of changed the game. And then you got a lot more sort of like what they call bedroom artists and stuff like that, where you didn't actually have to have a studio anymore.
Yeah.
Fire up your laptop, and it was easily accessible. I mean, music software has always been easily accessible if you know how.
I mean, that's how I got into making electronic music, like pirating stuff on like a crappy Dell XPS. Like, that's how a lot of people get started. And having it be accessible is a good thing.
Yeah, no,
And if I
exactly.
hadn't learned how to do piracy and how file structures and how all of this worked, I wouldn't work in IT like I do now.
Yeah.
So that's my main source of income.
Yeah.
And
now
all of these skills are very, very useful.
they are, and it sort of just came out of that era of yeah. I mean, I used to pirate my software back in the day, but
Before you were the upstanding citizen you are today.
I do pay for it now though. So
No, I remember the first time I paid for Cubase,
yeah,
which I think was just after things had started going better for bio in the COVID period. Because that's when I started releasing regularly, having an income. Like, fuck, I can afford to pay for this stuff now, and that was nice, right? Because you want to be able to.
Yeah. Of course.
But like you feel like you've earned it then.
It's
Yeah.
actually a very funny story when we played Finland. We've done a number of MV and bio shows in Finland, so I forget which of our projects is playing that. Um, I use Neural DSP guitar amp sims for all of my music and for playing live as well, and they're a Finnish company, I believe. And apparently, like, a guy or two from Neural DSP was at the show, and it kind of came up, and like Matt like playfully told them that I pirated it and such, and like maybe I did at one point, and I don't know, he just like ratted me out to Neural DSP directly, and I actually pay for it because, you know, I rely on it for every tune and for all the shows. So yes, I pay for my software, but I did feel like ashamed for Matt lying to them directly and putting me on the spot. This
Would I
just
ever do
absolute
such a thing?
slander.
Absolutely love that. That's brilliant. Actually, did they confront you about it, or was it literally just
Oh,
No, they're finished. They would never
no,
confront anyone about
it turned
anything.
into a big bar fight, and we got banned from On the Rocks. We can never come back now.
okay?
Oh, I like On the Rocks.
We love On the Rocks. Can't
Yeah.
wait to go back.
Shut up, Miko.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, final question, guys. What are your hobbies away from this? So when you're not biomechanical, when you're not mechanical vein, sorry, it's very hard to get my words
I
around.
know.
Um, but yeah, when you're not doing that, obviously I know like you probably got work and stuff like that. But are any other hobbies you kind of partake in outside of that?
It's tough for me because honestly, like music occupies like all of my free time. So if I'm have some time to myself to do whatever I want. It's like, well, I can make some progress on getting these tunes done or sorting out some of the to-do list for shows, or some label work because like, we run the hybrid black label to do that fusion of bass music and metal, shout out. Got some new stuff soon coming from Salty and etc.
Oh,
Um, that takes so much of my free time. Like I've been wanting to carve out more time for a bit of gaming, which I've not done. But yeah, to be honest, it's like between VFX and music,
no
it
time.
monopolizes my time.
Okay.
I'll think about, do I have other hobbies? I don't know.
Okay.
I think Matt's slightly better than I am about carving time for
I'm
these
a little
things.
bit too good at hobbies.
That's all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I'm really big on my DIY, and I'm really big on traveling. I think last year I went to some like 13, 14 countries in a 12-month period. Like I went to Japan, Iceland, all over Europe. Like, I adore traveling. It's my favorite thing to do. And then in my spare time this year, as a sort of when I was settling into the new job, and I didn't want to get myself out of like the mental health slump of being made redundant and all of that.
Yeah.
I built a massive cabin in my garden to so I can work out. So I have a home gym and stuff like that.
Okay.
That was a really fun project. But yeah, like, you ever seen that? You know the YouTuber Tom Scott? Um, there was a meme floating around of him like, I'm in Hull, I'm at the top of a tower, I'm in the
Yes.
that this is me basically.
Okay.
People will sort of drop me a message and like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm in the Lake District, or oh yeah, I'm like on a set that they use for Star Wars for something. Like, and I've got receipts for all of this.
Okay. Good.
I adore travel and seeing things. Although I would quite happily just stay in Japan the entire time. That is a sick country.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know travel counts as a hobby, but it's been one of the nicest things about doing bio and MB stuff is
Mm,
um, giving us an excuse to travel to cool places, make close friends and all of these places. And it's a double-edged sword because it's a beautiful thing to have, like good friends in like Germany, Finland, wherever else US, etc. Um, Nice to be connected to close people in these places. Only downside is you need to get booked to go see them. But
yeah, which
we don't
means we
have
need to
to. We
finish,
we can travel without being booked. We do
or we could
that,
get booked
but
for it.
or booking, please.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time, Keith, Matt. Thank you, everybody. We are playing a show in December the 5th with Venjent at the Face Bar in Reading. All profits go to the Beat Cancer charity. And yeah, obviously it is sold out. So if you are looking for tickets, do add yourself to the wait list. I'm sure some will come up for either one of the days that we are there. But guys, thank you very much. Obviously, you guys have got music out as well, be it not recent, but everyone can go onto the streaming services, can go on Bandcamp, I assume, can go to your website and maybe buy it. Do you have physical copies of things, or are you just purely digital at the moment?
We do have physical copies.
Yep.
We I've not done it yet. Matt told me he's been a little bit more on top of Bandcamp changes than I am. Apparently, we need to disable sales to the US, from what I
Yeah,
understand,
yeah.
due to
It's a
tariffs.
one-click thing. It's super easy to do.
Yeah, but due
I
to
don't want to.
tariff thing,
I didn't want to have to do it, but
yeah.
Was it
So
time?
we do have physical music, yes.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Um, if you're not in the US. Um,
If you're a
but other than
distributor
that,
in the US that would like to handle printing of Hybrid Black in the US,
yeah.
get in touch.
Yes, do that. Anyone watching in that industry, do get in touch with them. But yeah, no, obviously there is stuff online for everyone to go listen to, so they can go find it. Mechanical Vein, Biomechanical, and everything. There's also like a lot of footage on YouTube and stuff like that. I have noticed, so people can go and watch your live shows as well because it's a equally as good production on the live sound, which is great. It's not some sort of dodgy phone cam. Well, they're not dodgy anymore, are they? The phones. Um,
The sound is always awful though.
Yeah. We have been impressed by a few fan footage clips though that actually are a lot better than expected. But yeah, we're on all the things. Appreciate all of the follows and etc. It goes a long way and it's very helpful.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah,
You
thanks for
too.
having us.
We'll catch you in
Appreciate it.
December.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I look forward to it.